So next one is for loop, right? So we discussed while, do while. Now we are going to discuss for loop. Okay. So any loop, the purpose is to repeatedly execute some set of statements until the given condition becomes false. You take while, do while, or for loop, any loop. Okay, but syntax are different and situation also different where you need to select. Okay, when we discuss for loop, I will discuss those also while and for do while when you should select. Okay, but coming to for loop, so this is also used to execute some set of statements repeatedly. Okay, na, until given condition becomes false. As long as the condition is true, it keeps on executing the same set of statements. So coming to syntax, okay, so first we will see while loop how. So while loop initialization, variables initialization, we are that where whatever we are applying the variable on condition, we are applying some variable, right? We are taking one variable, we are applying condition on that variable, and we are updating that variable. So we are initializing that before the while loop, and then while condition, we are checking this condition and followed by some statements. What are the statements you want? You are writing that statements. Okay, what are multiple statements, whatever it may be. Then updating. Okay, updation, either increment or decrementing of that particular variable. Okay, initial value. So this like this we are writing. So initialization is outside, condition checking is the beginning of the loop, and updation is at the end of the loop. Okay, like this we are doing. Okay, so coming to for loop, see all three present in the here only. Okay, na? So initialization, initialization is here, semicolon. Okay, followed by condition. Three times I have written condition, semicolon, followed by updation, either increment or decrement. So like this. Okay, so then only statements we write inside this loop. Okay, so rest everything is same. So coming to while loop, along with statements, updation is available in the while loop body. Okay, now but in for loop, everything initialization, condition checking, and updation, everything we are in the form of for loop only. Initialization also even here only, not at the before. Okay, so statements. Okay, so this is the syntax difference between while loop and do loop. Sorry, for loop. So when should I choose for loop? When you know exact number of repetitions, okay, na, which is starting from 1 and it should repeat for some 10 times or 20 times, some variable dynamically whether it is decides. Okay, so based on that, you want to perform some operations when you know number of repetitions. Okay, which is starting with always 1 and some certain number of repetitions, then we should use this for loop. Okay, so coming to this while loop, when you are not sure on exact number of repetitions, okay, na, so at that time we use while loop. Okay, we are not sure means how many number of repetitions, I don't know at the beginning of the program. Why? Because in case of simplicity, when you are trying to find out reverse number of a program. Okay, so at that time what we mentioned to number greater than 0, but inside the loop what we are doing, number is equal number by 10. So depends on the number you enter, it may take right reverse to find out reverse number. We are not sure. Okay, how many number of times it will go and repeat. So at that time you should switch to this while loop. Okay, then otherwise simply you can go for number of repetitions are known, then you go with this for loop. Okay, so just you can see whether we get some more points about this also. So just go to, okay, so just type here between, okay, na, while loop and for loop. Okay, so see what are the differences going to give. See, so while loop syntax, okay, now while loop has this simple syntax where you specify a condition that must be true or false, some condition, body of the loop, statements to be executed. So initialization, condition, and iteration. Okay, now so updation of this one. Okay, so initialization, while loop, you need to initialize the loop variables before the loop and update it if necessary within the loop body. So means whatever the initialization, if you want to initialize, that is before the loop itself you need to initialize, and if any updation is needed, that is inside the body you have to do. Okay, this is related to initialization and incrementing. So whereas in case of for loop, initialization, increment are done directly in the loop declaration itself. See, initialization, increment and decrement, even condition checking also here. Use cases. While loop generally used when the number of iterations is not known beforehand, or when you want to repeatedly execute a block of code based on a condition. Okay, na? So you don't know exactly how many number of times it's going to be executed. So for loop typically used when you know number of iterations, okay, na? Or when you want to iterate over a range of values. Okay, this is okay, na? Clarity and conciseness. Okay, na? For loop can be more concise and expressive, especially when iterating over collection or when the number of iterations is known. So while loop sometimes preferred for simplicity for when the loop control is more complex. Okay, like they are saying. So generally, so when you know exact number of repetitions, just then at that time we need to specify I is equal to 1, I less than or equal something, I plus plus like that. Okay, choose for. Otherwise, you don't know, you're not sure on the exact number of repetitions, then usually we use while loop. Okay, so if you see for loop also, it's same like flow chart. Okay, just we see, just we will see flow chart for loop. Okay, so okay, it is same. It's while loop and flow chart. Coming to flow chart, it's almost same. Okay, so where is that? Okay, okay, just yeah, so many. So while starting, first initially it checks condition, and if it is true, statements will be updated, and statements will be executed, and update logic, that variable value will be updated. Again, it will check the condition. Again, statements will be executed. Again, it's some update. Finally, when it comes false, when it becomes false, then it stops the execution of the loop. Okay. So see, now we will write a first Java program using for loop. Okay. So that is one to give a number. So Java program to print, okay, all numbers, okay, between 1 to given number. Okay, so now we will see how we can implement this one. Okay, so first we need to write import statement, import. So Java dot util dot scanner. Okay, now class for loop 1. Okay, so now here public static void main string args. Okay, so here, so int I can take I some number. I'm not initializing. Initializing you can initialize for loop while time also. Okay, so now we need to ask user to enter some number. Okay, system dot out dot, okay, so println enter any number. Okay, so now number is equal to this scanner object we have not created, right? Sorry, we need to create scanner object also. So scanner s is equal to new scanner, okay, system dot in. Okay, so now scanner object is ready. So here s dot next int. Okay, so now for loop as per our syntax for, okay, I is equal to 1. Okay, so whereas in case of while loop there itself only we are initializing, okay, here itself only, but for loop we can initialize here. Next followed by condition I less than or equal to number. Okay, na? So whatever the variable is number, next semicolon, followed by incrementing or decrementing, that is inside the while loop. Oh, we are writing, right? So but inside for loop everything is here only, just okay na. So this is initialization, okay, this is condition checking, okay na, and this is updation. Okay, so that's all simply, and whatever the statements you want to write, write your statements here. Dot how to dot, okay, so println, okay, of I, just if you write this is also same. Okay, so then here main, close the main, close class. Okay, so when you enter, let us assume only 5 you have entered. Okay, first what does it do when it comes to here? Only one time this initialization part is executed. First time while loop is execution time only. I is equal to 1. Then I is 1. Then here it will check I value 1, right? 1 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Okay. Then immediately it's not going to increase this one. So initialization is first time while loop execution time. This part is going to be executed. Okay. So then condition is evaluated. Once condition is true, immediately from here it will come to here and it will display whatever the value which is present in the type. So I means initially is 1. So after this updation, right, then it will go for executing this part I plus plus, then it becomes 2. Okay, I plus plus 2, right? Once it is 2, then here only 2. So 2 less than. So once initialization is at the beginning and this condition is every time it will do, and this updation is there, right? Once first time once it is executed, and next time it will be updated and it will then check for the condition. Okay, it checks the condition 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, again next it will come and it will display 2. Again it will go here, still almost everything until loop is finished. So incrementing, condition checking, incrementing, condition checking, and displaying statement. Okay, so now 2 will be displayed. After 2 is displayed, so it will go here, increment 3. So 3 less than or equal to 5. Yes, so once again it will come here, it will display 3. So after once again this one, it will go here, this statement will be executed 4. So once again it will check the condition. Initialization only one time, first time loop execution time only. Okay, so next 4 less than or equal to 5, it will check yes, condition is true, so it will display 4. So after 4 is displayed, once again I plus plus 5. So 5 less than or equal to 5, condition is true, so it will display 5. After 5 also, then it will go here, I plus plus, it becomes 6, and 6 less than or equal to 5, condition false, then it comes out from the loop. So this is very simple syntax. So that is the only this while loop, this we define outside that one. Condition is here, you will specify. This I plus plus is after system dot, right? Inside the while loop you write wherever you want. But this everything, these three are here only. But that initialization part is done only one time. This part is executed only one time. Okay, and this is executed, starts executing once first time loop is executed. Once condition is true, once condition is true, it will execute, it will come here, it will display. Then onwards it starts increasing and condition checking, increasing, condition checking, displaying the body. Okay, so this is for loop example. Okay, so next to save this one. Okay, so for loop1.java. Okay, so all files, just save this one. Okay, next to go to so cd slash, okay, cd programs. Okay, now java c for loop1.java. So compile this one. Okay, compile successfully. Next java for loop. Okay, so sorry, for loop 1, right? I have given for loop 1. Okay, now any number, enter any number, I'm giving 10. So 1 to 10 display same response, same you can achieve by using while loop also. Okay, so but when exact number of repetitions are known, simply this is very somewhat clear. So when you write a while loop, initialization is somewhere and condition is in while starting and updation at the end. But all three, when you know some repeated number of times exactly from starting one, then it looks clear when you see this one. So this is how you need to implement for loop. Okay, so now we have written this, right? Okay, so now somewhat you may be confused when same thing up to given, from given number to 1. We will see one more program. So let us say I want to display numbers from given number to 1. So some 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So at that time immediately we will get that doubt, right? So then what should I do? Initialization part for is needed, right? Okay, for I need to write initialize, but actually initialization is not needed. Okay, then what you can do, initialization is optional, whether you can omit like this or you can just specify number. You are not doing anything. Why? Because this number is already getting initialized here, right? Okay, so you can just mention number or you can specify semicolon also whenever you don't want, right? Okay, but better you write like this. Okay, this is the case. Okay, so next condition is, this is not the condition. So when you go with this one, number until number okay, number greater than 0, which you should keep on executing. Next condition updation is number minus minus. So like this you need to convert to display from given number to 1. So every time you can specify number. Okay, so like this from given number to 1. So I am not initializing already, this is dynamic, right? So this is user is entering the value, so just I am specifying this is like this. Always you don't need to write number is equal to 1 something, you don't need to write that one. Okay, just you can specify number, whatever the value is present, that is there, or even skip this one also. Okay, so like this also you can write. Now this is for loop 2, right? Okay, let us save with for loop 2. Class name is, okay, so save as we need to use, or let us say for loop 1 only, anyway unnecessary. Okay, so class name and file name is same. So once you go here, compile the program, same program for loop1.java, and try to execute. Okay, try to enter same 10. Okay, so 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 to 1 in reverse order we are displaying from given number to 1. So there here you generally you will get the confusion. So when you are not starting from 1 to something, right? So then if it is while number greater than 0, you can write simply, you can do all those things. Okay now, so when exact number of 1 I is equal to 1 kind of thing, then that looks good. Okay now, in this case just you can write like this. It is somewhat simpler. Okay now, while number greater than 0. Okay, number greater than 0. Okay, okay, right? Then generally we write system.out.println and followed by number minus minus we write. Okay, so you don't need to do I is equal to 1 like that. But it for by using for loop also you can achieve the same thing. But when you see this one somewhat confusion. Initialization means what I did to initialize. You don't need to initialize. Already number is stored, right? When candidate enters that value, that value will be stored into here. So you don't need to enter anything. Just you can do this one, and a number greater than 0, and updation is number minus minus. Okay, so system.out.println number. Okay, so now can you try for writing? Yeah, so so we need to find out factorial value of a given number, right? So already some number is we are entering. Okay, here I need some I also. Okay, fact value also I'm taking factorial value, or factorial value clearly variable name you can take. Okay, so then what we can do? So I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to number, given number I plus plus. So when you enter 5, so 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, or 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, anyway you can multiply, right? So inside the loop what we need to do? So fact value is equal to fact value into I. So that's it. Into I means when it comes 1 2 3 4 all will be multiplied. So if you take number 5, so first I we are initializing with 1. So it will check the condition whether 1 less than or equal to 5 or not. Condition is true. Okay, 1 less than or equal to, what will it do? So fact already 1 is there, into, so I value is also 1. So 1 into 1, so it will be final result is 1, and that result will be stored into so variable called fact value. Then after this line is executed, then it will go here and it will increment the value I plus plus 2. So next to 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, again condition is true. This is only one time executed, first time only. So 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, then again it will come here. So only the values are always substituted right side of equal to symbol. Okay, na? Then the result will be stored into left side variable. Okay, whatever which is present. So now factorial value is earlier 1, we got this result, right? Okay, next to it is I value is 2. So 1 into 2, so it will become 2. So this 2 will be stored into this fact value. Okay, after this one again it will plus plus I becomes 3. So 3 less than or equal to 5. Yes, condition is true. Again it comes here, and fact value is already previous factorial value is 2, and now the I value is 3. Okay, so 2 into 3 it will become 6. Okay, so 6 will be stored into the fact value. Again I plus plus, I plus plus becomes 4. 4 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. Okay na? So fact value is already 6 is there, so that will be substituted in place of fact value, and in place of I we got the 4. So 6 plus 6 4 is a 24. Okay, now that will be stored again back to the fact value. Okay, next again I plus plus, this becomes 5. 5 less than or equal to 5 condition is true. Next, this time fact value is 24 plus I value is 5. Okay, now so how much? 150 1 for 120. Okay, sorry, 120. Okay, now here we have to display that statement. Okay, so system dot out dot println. Okay, so factorial value of that number you can specify, 5 or 10 or whatever you are entering, plus is, again give some space. Okay, and write that variable fact value. Okay, so factorial value is 5 is 120, or factorial value is 10 is like that, it will display. Okay, so this is how you can find out. Okay, now you can go and execute this program. Okay, so first compile this program. Next to execute, enter any number 5. Okay, so factorial value of 5 is 120. If at all you want to execute again, I'm giving 10. So factorial value of 10 is something, so like this, so it will calculate and display the result. Okay, so this is how you can implement, or you can find out factorial value of a given number. Okay, and has anyone tried same thing?